Tubes tip-off is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company here on the campus of UCLA on a fantastic Southern California Sunday afternoon in Pauley Pavilion. And away we go with the number 10 UCLA Bruins, fresh off a big win over Oregon at home, taking on the Oregon State Beavers today. So in the Pac-12 standings, here's what we got. Arizona and Oregon both won last night. UCLA, of course, off the win over Oregon the other night, trying to keep pace. They are 9-3 in the conference. Welcome courtside as we have got Steve Lavin, the coach here. I'm Kevin Burkhardt, and boy, what a win it was for UCLA the other night. And we know their offense is great, they're the best in the nation, but we saw some defense for them in that win, didn't we?
Yeah, and defense creating offense for UCLA, and they're at their best in the open court, so a string of stops or shutouts is what leads to open court transition opportunities where UCLA, with their electrifying athleticism, could finish. Ani Bogu providing resistance at the rim and tied together defensively in the second half. UCLA holding the Ducks to 33%. In the last 12 minutes of the game, they really tightened the screws, smothering defense on the perimeter, and as a result, UCLA with a fast and furious comeback against the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, down 19 points in that game, coming back to win, and the place was raucous. Now they're taking on an Oregon State team. It's had just a terrible year for them. A team that went to the NCAA tournament last year. A lot of things gone wrong. They lost their best player, and that has really hurt Wayne Tinkle's club. We'll get into that as we go. Starting lineups: Drew Eubanks, a nice post presence down low for Oregon State. For UCLA, it's Lonzo Ball running the show, second in the country in assists, and boy, they can all shoot the three-pointers. They do it well, as good as anyone in the nation. And so we are getting set to play. We will jump it up at Pauley Pavilion. Coach Lav and our crew on FS1, and Oregon State has it, and here we go. This is Stephen Thompson Jr. running the show. Avoids a double. McLaughlin, the freshman, as they move it around, man well. There's Eubanks, their big center, and the pass slips right through the hands of McLaughlin for a backcourt violation. So UCLA basketball with Steve Alford in his fourth season. And really has a chance with this team, who didn't make the tournament last year, to go very deep in the tournament.
Yeah, back-to-back Sweet 16s in his first 2 years at the helm, and last year they were off the mark, but clearly this team has received Leaf with the putback, the second shot. Outstanding freshman, a lottery-level talent. Brings a ruggedness, Kevin, along the baseline for UCLA that they've lacked in recent years, and yet also has a deft touch from long range.
Yeah, he can shoot it. He's up in the mid-40s from three. Oregon State offense has been an issue all year long without Trace Tinkle, their best player, who averages 20 a game. So where are they going to get it from today?
Well, Stevie Thompson Jr. as well as Eubanks, who's off the mark on that jump shot. That gives them a capable inside-outside attack. UCLA a turnover here early. One of the areas UCLA can improve upon is at times they're loose with the basketball in terms of ball security. But part of that's a result of the freedom Coach Alford gives his team to play at high speeds, and gives them the green light to go to work, and we'll see turnovers at times as a result.
A miss by Rakurcevic, and here come the Bruins. They love to run, they love to shoot the three. It's Alford on the fake, swings it to Welsh. Look at the ball movement. This is Hamilton. No. Believe it or not, the last two games against Oregon State, Isaac Hamilton hasn't scored. 0 for 20.
That's an anomaly.
I mean, a weird anomaly. And that continues in the early going. Eubanks. He's got a nice touch from about 12 feet out, too.
And he draws the double team. Good kick out, reversal.
Manuel is shy. See if anyone can hit some long-range jumpers in this early going. Alford will shoot it from long range, and it counts. A chance for 4-point play for Bryce Alford.
Alford with a quick trigger, Kevin. One of the best, like an old gunslinger in the wild, wild west. And excellent technique, the flexion in the wrist, And the ball comes off the middle three fingers, which creates that rotation and soft shooter's touch. And we see it again on that free throw. Similar to his father, it's in the DNA, it's in the racing form, so to speak.
And so UCLA, after the 4-point play, off to the early lead. Three-pointer, and it's good. So Oregon State on the board. That's Stephen Thompson Jr., the sophomore from Los Angeles.
Well, and speaking of DNA, of course, his father, an outstanding player at Crenshaw High School in Southern California, went on to Syracuse, playing for Jim Boeheim in the Big East. He's now an assistant with the Beavers on the bench.
One of my favorite dunkers ever. Vicious.
The mid-range game as well.
No doubt. Hamilton. Here's Welsh, a little floater with a hook. And Rakurcevic comes up with the rebound.
On that last possession, Stevie Thompson Jr. worked very well without the ball, using his teammates as screeners to create separation from the defender and knock down that long-range jumper.
Stevie Thompson is really not your prototypical point guard, and if they weren't hurt, I don't think he'd be playing point guard for this team. But he's doing it, taking one for the team. Eubanks gets fouled, shot no good, but he will go to the line. And so the fouls on Isaac Hamilton. There's Wayne Tinkle. I mean, he brought this team to the NCAA tournament last year for the first time, coach, in 26 years. So, I mean, they lost 8 guys, number one. Their best players hurt. It's a rough one for him this year.
Well, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for the Beavers. One of those Murphy's Law scenarios. And, of course, once his son returns, we take a look at him at the bench. His versatility, both inside and out, a playmaker who can create off the bounce, can shoot it from distance, and being a coach's son, he also understands his basketball IQ is exceptional. When he returns for the Beavers, bright future.
Hamilton cut off. Welsh, a soft jumper, short, and rebound by Rakurcevic. He's grabbed a couple of those early.
Yeah, Welsh, an excellent shooter, a little flat on that shot, what we call a tortilla or a pancake. Got to get more lift, shoot from the ground up, get those legs flexed.
Trap, Thompson in trouble, escapes, and a tip ball offered, racing for it, and he can't get to it. So 7 on the clock for Oregon State here.
Good energy in the house here for Sunday, 2 p.m. An ideal time to tip it up, in my view. I think you may have similar sentiments.
I would agree. You get the coffee, no rush. You get done, you have the potential steak waiting for you. A lot of options. Thompson for 3. He didn't call bank, but he gets it home.
Well, a young fella returning home, playing in front of his family, mother in the house. His younger brother as well, attending, sitting behind the bench. He's already committed to Oregon State.
Alford to try to match short again. I wonder how hard it is for UCLA coming off that monster win against a team that's winless in the conference. Can't take this lightly today.
Well, you can't afford to stub your toe. There's too much at stake. The significance of games at this stage of the season set the table for both the conference tournament in Vegas as well as NCAA tournament seeds. So you want to be playing well come February.
And look at this. The Beavers are hot. That's Manuel, who's actually been shooting it quite well from 3. He's now 8 of his last 17 from three-point land. And Oregon State has scored the last 10 points.
Well, and Manuel came out of the gates against USC as we see the turnover. Bryce Alford and TJ Leaf not on the same page. But the Beavers, a spirited effort here early in Pauley Pavilion as we see Thompson going to the glass. The ATM is open in Westwood.
Everybody's hitting 3s.
Sunday afternoon, Manuel bottoms. Timeout.
And here in LA, just a terrible day. Griffith Park, 70 degrees. 405 never looks like that, by the way. Hollywood sign. Coach Lav, it's just a good day to be alive.
Westwood campus, so beautiful in all its glory. Venice Beach, waking up this morning was pretty nice too. Get some coffee on Abbott Kinney before making the drive to Westwood.
You know what else is beautiful? It's been this UCLA offense all year long. I mean, you look at these percentages in the country, 92.5 points per game. Not only that, they shoot it well, they pass well with the first and assist, and that first and assist is 3 more than the next best team. So this team moves it around, they score, they run. Can they defend? That's always been the question, or at least defend enough for them.
Their first 7, as good as it gets in terms of firepower and personnel. I think Ani Bogu, number 13, stepping on the floor here as a rim protector. His physicality, his remarkable length will be the difference for UCLA when they get into the NCAA tournaments. We see Ball with the block, showing some defensive prowess. Here's the versatility. Leaf bringing the ball up the floor, some playmaking with Alford in a little 2-man game on one side of the floor.
Leaf, who's 6'10", a freshman, gets denied, and a strip down low.
Good look, though, on the interior.
Yeah.
When the bigs can pocket pass and play in tandem or pairs, tough to match up with.
Ani Bogu, number 13, you talked about him being the rim protector. He missed early in the year with a knee injury. He's just starting to scratch the surface. And Isaac Hamilton puts it home from downtown.
And in UCLA's 2 biggest wins, at Kentucky and Oregon this past Thursday, Ani Bogu was central to UCLA's success in those games. And those conditions simulate what you'll have from the second NCAA tournament game on. If you want to win 6 straight, cut down the nets in Phoenix, you need Ani Bogu-type defense at the rim.
Eubanks against Ani Bogu. That was pretty for Drew Eubanks.
Oh, nice drop step. Old school post move. Efficient, nifty footwork. And the Beavers sharp offensively here early in Poly.
Playing well in the early going to the lowest scoring team in the conference. Leaf off the bank. No. And Korčević with another board.
Well, Eubanks will have a 10 to 12 year career in the NBA if he can stay healthy. His ruggedness, his size, his feel for the game, his upside as well is what makes him such an intriguing prospect.
Thompson, clock at 6. The swing. Manuel at 2 inside. Well, Korčević can't get it to fall. Here's Leaf. Here are the Bruins. And Holiday, who's into the game now. Hamilton. Oh, what a dish for the dunk. That's good work.
We're seeing Hamilton's diversity, his skill set, the 3-pointer in the corner off the out of bounds along the baseline, and they're driving and dishing to Ani Bogu.
Going to get it inside. Eubanks can hit that shot from the elbow. Here's Korčević stripped. Here comes Ball. Hamilton up ahead, lays it in.
Lonzo Ball, excellent pass with precision. Made it look easy, but that was a special pass because Hamilton was able to catch it in stride and then with one bounce finish. They covered 80 feet of territory within 3 seconds.
Korčević among the trees, amongst the triple team, but he drew the foul. And so Korčević will go to the line as we've got a break in the action.
Well, let the big fella go to work, throw him a bone. Why not? The easy flush for Ani Bogu here, the strip ball off to the races. Nice underhand pass and finish. Timeout.
So good start to this one from Poly Pavilion. UCLA, the number 10 team in the country, leading by 1 against Oregon State. And we remind you about February 26th, the best drivers in the world returning to the track for the Great American Race. Don't miss Jeff Gordon and the Fox crew. They call the action for the 59th running of the Daytona 500. It begins February 26th at 1 Eastern, and it's only on Fox.
Speaking of race car drivers, UCLA preferring that up-tempo. That's when they're at their best. And Oregon State, in a game like this, will pick their spots to run off of their defense if they have the mathematics and the advantage in terms of numbers in the break. But otherwise, they're going to make UCLA guard, get deeper into the shot clock possession, give themselves a chance to foul, and also just have a less possession game. Lower volume of possessions favors Oregon State. Higher speeds favor UCLA because of their depth and athleticism.
No question. Here is Holiday. Good start for the Beavers. Here's Ball's going to launch and connect. So Lonzo Ball's first field goal of the game. He, of course, a star at the end for UCLA on Thursday, hitting the big shots, and then lockdown defense on Dylan Brooks.
Well, an unusual talent. There's a ease or a grace, at times almost appearing nonchalant in his greatness and his ability to pick teams apart with precision like a surgeon. We've seen as a two-way player his ability defensively to harass opponents, come up with big steals in the break, the ability to finish at the rim, the shoelace crossover, a little dipsy-do, scooparoo, and then how about one from 35 feet, bottoms. What else do you need to see when it comes to Lonzo Ball?
He doesn't like to shoot right behind the three-point line. He likes to go about 5 feet behind, you know, just to practice for the NBA. That's all.
Yeah, Reggie Miller range, another former Bruin great.
A three-pointer by Thompson Jr. is no good. We get a whistle, though, and we're going to go the other way. So they call it on Grigoriy Rokorčević. It's his first foul. The 3 lead changes, last 5 possessions now in this one. UCLA up by 2, 11-11 to go in this first half. On a Sunday afternoon from Westwood, Steve Lavin is here. I'm Kevin Burkhardt, our entire FS1 crew. Splits the D, gets it inside, but a steal and a foul. They're going to get McLaughlin. He tried to strip Ani Bogu.
This Oregon State team against USC performed well in the first half at the Galen Center on Thursday night. Impressed.
Goleman. Ball rotation. This is Holiday. Spin inside and a turnover.
A little over penetration there, collapsing the proper spacing, like playing in a closet, leads to turnovers.
Phone booth.
Precisely.
Tried to think of another analogy there with your laugh.
Spacing so important.
Possibly even the submarine. Thompson for 3. That's long, and Goleman comes up with the board. Here comes Holiday.
Feeling claustrophobic.
Yes, indeed. Ball misses, but the tip is good.
Again, the nonchalance, the fluidity, so impressive when you look at Ball, how quickly he was able to get off the ground with that second jump and the one-hand tap.
Just got a feel for the pace, for the game, when to attack, when not. 9-2 run by UCLA right here. Shot clock at 7. Eubanks hasn't gotten going. He's doubled. He's in trouble. He gets it stolen, but we get a jump ball, and possession is going to the Bruins.
Little two-man basketball. And to the hoop. Comes up short, but able to get back up off the ground like a volleyball player at the net and then tip it in with a one-hand controlled tap. And again, these are plays we see so frequently from Ball. It makes it look easy.
Speaking of easy, what a spin and a move from Aaron Holiday, who you have to give him a lot of credit. His first field goal of the year. This is a guy that was the starting guard for this team last year. Look, he plays plenty. He's been a huge contributor, scoring almost 14 a game. But Coach Lav, he has found his role off the bench magnificently. Tip no good. Grab at the rim no good. Here come the Bruins. Holiday loses it. We're going the other way.
Well, and that's an example again where UCLA will get loose with the ball and have empty possessions because of turnovers. And it's something they need to continue to be mindful of, but stay aggressive because when you play at high speeds and you have an aggressive mindset offensively, you are more prone to turnovers. You'd rather have that than being on your heels. But in the NCAA tournament, you can't afford empty possessions with that compressed margin for error that is a natural outgrowth of the NCAA tournament, the postseason, and a more defensive-oriented approach.
Ball with the spin. Goleman's going to launch. No. Kone's got the board for Oregon State with a little over 8.5 to go in this first half. Oregon State with the basketball, looking for their first win in the conference this year. 0-12 in the Pac-12. It's a team that made the NCAA tournament last year. They're looking for something positive, something to build on here. And well, good fake, but the extra pass was intercepted. Ball looks to push the kick out. Holiday three. No.
I like where Ball took the basketball right to the free throw line. Old-fashioned jump stop from that area as we see the aggressive double team out here at half court and the turnover. Oregon State on multiple occasions has picked the basketball up in corners. You don't want to do that out by half court. You don't want to do it in the coffin corner along the baseline because the out-of-bounds lines act as extra defenders. And now when that trap comes, essentially you've got 4 defenders on you against 1.
Seems like Oregon State could really, as Ball takes a seat, could really use that point guard penetrator type. Because again, Thompson's doing the team a favor, but he's more of a 2, right? Maybe even a 3.
And that's where they're missing Gary Payton, one of the all-time greats in Oregon State history that was a central part of the Beavers' success last year, making that run to the NCAA tournament.
Here's Alford working on the block, and he's long. Alford shot more 3s than 2s this year, but he goes inside to no avail. Oregon State hasn't scored in almost 6.5 minutes in this game after that great start.
And that's been a pattern for Oregon State. Times where they're in droughts offensively, find themselves in the desert. We've seen those numbers anemic across the board, but in stretches they're capable.
Kone knocked it away. It's loose, tipped on the floor, and it goes to the Beavers. And with that, we get a media timeout here in Westwood. It's the Bruins 20, the Beavers 14. We're back. 20-14, the number 10 UCLA Bruins home for Oregon State. Lonzo Ball orchestrating this number 1 offense in the country, but he really does it all. The defense, the rebounding, the assists. Oh, and he could shoot.
And timely, clutch shooting. A crunch time performer, has a sense or a feel for when to step up and impose his will on a game at both ends of the floor.
You see this. It's the Ball family to UCLA connection. LiAngelo Ball is a senior at Chino Hills High School, just outside of Anaheim, California. He's coming here next year, good shooter. And then LaMelo, who's a sophomore. The other night, he scored 92 in a game. That's no joke, 92. And the game wasn't some kind of crazy blowout. It was relatively close. How do you score 92 points in a game, Lev?
Well, clearly Los Osos High School, the Grizzlies from Rancho Cucamonga, will have to work on their defense after giving up those 92 points. So I know Coach will have them working on defensive slides as we take a look. A good head of lettuce there. And an impressive family when you look at basketball talent. Father and mother must be proud of their sons. Something about families in UCLA. You think about Toby and Moose Bailey. How about the Johnsons, Josiah and Chris, as well as Marcus, their father.
Where's Holiday right now? Brother Drew played for UCLA. He's in the NBA.
Annie and Dave Myers won national championships on both the men's and women's side at UCLA. There are many more. I think once someone comes here, it's natural that the younger sister or brother or sibling would want to come to UCLA. Good take. Hamilton, again, the change of pace, very efficient with his use of the bounce, shifty as well. While he doesn't have blinding speed because of his ball handling and his intelligence, he's able to get to the basket.
Oregon State, they needed that. They had missed their last 7 shots, but McLaughlin finally puts it home. It ends a 9-0 run by UCLA. So here's Holiday to Hamilton for 3. No. And Kone's got the board for the Beavers. There are 4 players in this UCLA rotation that shoot over 43% from 3-land, which is an incredible rate.
Well, it makes them difficult to defend because they stretch opponents' defenses, and as a result, there's more time and space for the big men of UCLA to go to work. Longer help recovery slides or closeouts.
Kone puts up a 3. He's coming off a career-high 10 points in the loss to USC the other night. But he hits it from downtown.
And Kone, who had an ACL injury, recovering from that, he'll continue to improve as he gets back to full strength. He's from Mitty High School up in the Bay Area. A good basketball program and conference.
Welsh, a little baby hook goes for Thomas Welsh.
And Welsh with excellent hand-eye coordination. That's why he can shoot the ball so well. A soft touch for a big man. Gives up some quickness when he's in the lineup in terms of defense and in particular lateral foot speed. But he's an intelligent player, a hard worker.
Good pass inside to Raw Korchevich. Kone with the perfect lob.
Good high-low. Of course, Coach Tinkle was a big man himself, so Oregon State Beaver big men will always be well schooled when it comes to post play. And again, carving out space. Kone putting just enough air under the ball to lift it over the defenders. And that's textbook basketball. Good pin and seal like a sumo wrestler there, using the fanny and the hips to hold off the defender.
Did you have a lot of fanny drills at UCLA and St. John? Was that very
Absolutely. Good tip by Ani Bogu, but they're going to wipe it. You see the disappointment. Big fella just got to keep working. Again, his upside, if he gets minutes, the return, the dividends come tournament time will pay off. He's oozing with talent. Just needs the reps, the minutes, and then the confidence will come along.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's hard when you start the year with a knee injury. You missed the first month, and he missed another game with some knee soreness. But boy, you could see the talent. It is there. McLaughlin now pulls up. Almost like he should have shot it on the initial movement. He got himself into some trouble. Here come the Bruins. Hamilton, the floater! And was he out of bounds? What do we have? Yes, out of bounds.
Boy, he can't catch a break. Officials are always tougher on freshmen, especially the ones that haven't played as frequently or don't have the profile of the more recognized, but right on it. Excellent call, laser focus. This is a good crew, by the way, in terms of the officials. Final Four caliber level officiating this afternoon.
Mike Reed, Vern Harris, Steve Olson. That's our crew here this afternoon. A little over 4 to go in this first half. 24-21. It's only a 3-point UCLA lead. Oregon State hanging in. Trap. Thompson's in deep trouble. Gets it tipped in a new life. Just looking for air. And the ball is tipped. It stays that way with 10 on the clock.
See that quickness, his ball hawking.
That moniker works with the last name. I see what you did there.
It
Ball
does.
hawk.
Ball hawk defender by Lonzo Ball.
Eubanks hasn't gotten going. They've done a nice job on him. Working, patience. He's got to shoot it. Shot clock down to 3. Thompson sees it, recognizes, gets it taken away by Lonzo Ball. They swing it to Alford. Pulls up from 3. No! And Kone's got another rebound. Place was ready to explode on that one.
That fast break, while they didn't convert, was started by Ball. Again, just pitching the ball out front, not wasting a dribble or holding on to it. We've seen Lonzo Ball do that on multiple occasions. His intelligence, once again, coming into play.
And well for 3. He's got it. And a chance for a 4-point play.
Manuel feeling it. Torching the nets early for the Beavers. The extra pass, a little shot fake, put the defender in the popcorn popper. Money.
A little bit of a stunner in this first half. Oregon State, who hasn't had a win in conference, hanging right with number 10 UCLA. At 24 all late in this first half. Fox Sports Support's proud to team up with Positive Coaching Alliance and its mission to develop better athletes and better people by working to provide all youth and high school athletes a positive, character-building sports experience. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn more. And so we saw the three-pointer by Kendall Manuel as we went to break. What we saw in the break at the end of the play was a foul by Eubanks underneath. Watch down low, a little shove. But they count the basket, and that's why we are tied at 24. So a tie game.
Yeah, and speaking of positive, the Positive Coaching Alliance, a positive note for the Beavers is Manuel is only a freshman. Stevie Thompson Jr., a sophomore. So the youth leads to the bright future. So we see a nice pass by Ball, and Hamilton just comes up short.
Ani Bogu amongst everyone, but Thompson with the great effort, and the Beavers with a chance to retake the lead with 3 to go in this first half.
See, I like that Ani Bogu stayed in the game. Coach Alford continuing to allow him to play through, even though he's not in the mix in terms of finding his rhythm offensively, and he's had some mistakes. This is how you get better. Adversity training in a close game, Pac-12.
Shot clock at 5. McLaughlin going to launch from deep, and he connects. Ja'Cory McLaughlin with 5 points. He's a 40% three-point shooter, and it's a 3-point lead.
Very similar to the USC game as Ball takes it to the hole with ease and grace like an ice skater off the window. Almost appears at times that he can do that whenever he wants. And again, that's the intelligence of having a feel for when to step up and take a game over, and yet not forcing, because he makes excellent reads in terms of when to pass and when to hold on to the ball to shot make.
Manuel gets a bump off the glass, rolls in and out. Here comes Ball. Lonzo looking to run.
Beep, beep.
The tempo, floats it up. And Ani Bogu, muscle, and the jam. As you were saying, Coach.
Gotta let the big fella go to work.
Yeah, they did. Ani Bogu, strong on the dunk. Close game, Bruins by 1. Well, we had Lonzo Ball pushing the tempo, and we had your big man, Coach, staying with him, and he really delivered.
Well, this is an example of having another gear, the Roadrunner, the Beep Beeper. Just that push in the open court creates help from the Beavers and allows Ani Bogu to slide inside. He takes that little crab dribble to gather and goes up and jams one home, the chin up on the rim, and the big fella now gets a blow and catch his breath before returning.
He could be one of those guys if UCLA is to make a Final Four push that could be a tournament star kind of out of nowhere.
It's the difference. You need the rim resistance and the athleticism that he possesses when you get Sweet 16 and beyond.
Tried the alley-oop. McLaughlin was a bad passer. He resets, but the shot clock is at 3. He'll launch from deep. That's no good, and Holiday's got it.
I'll use the analogy of a soccer or hockey goalie.
Alley-oop! It's Lonzo time.
How about the inversion? Leaf, the big man, stepping out and playmaking, and at the rim, Ball, like Batman, give him a cape, climbing the ladder.
Not much you can't do under a minute to play. UCLA by 3.
Here's the 1-2-2. They'll trap out of it. Just try and disrupt opponents for baskets like this off of turnovers. Good look.
All of a sudden, 11 for Lonzo Ball. Eubanks comes out to receive. Almost traveled. Rakočević inside. That does not count. We're going to get a hold down low.
Well, here's the inversion. A big throwing to the rim. Leaf sizing up. Ball wisely cutting to the basket. It's what you do when you don't have the ball that so often separates a good player from a great player, whether it's defense and you're off the ball or on offense. Your movement to help your team score. It could be setting a screen. It could be making that back cut. It could be helping a teammate that's in trouble.
Thompson. Shot clock is off. 24 to play in this first half. Crazy thing, UCLA's got 32. The least points they've scored in any half this year was 34. That was against Oregon State the last time they played them. So they're doing a good job hanging in.
And this is an important possession right here if Oregon State can go in with a bucket.
Rokocevic with 4 on the clock. Ball's got to hurry. Pushing it down. He's blocked. And a good block by Manuel. But the Bruins end the half on an 8-0 run to push it to a 5-point lead. Good half, surprising half in some ways. The Bruins will go to the locker room in front, but again, the lowest points and a half all year for UCLA.
I think if you're Coach Tinkle, you're pleased. It's a 2-possession game. Your Beaver squad played with a spirited, aggressive mindset. They made some timely threes and defensively gave UCLA a good look. The key now is sustaining it for 20 more minutes and having a chance to win late.
Coming up at the half, we've got Rob Stone and Nick Bodd, Xavier Providence. We'll get a preview of that game coming up on Wednesday. Thoughts from Coach Lav on the NCAA Top 16 bracket reveal yesterday. We got ourselves a game in Westwood. It's the Bruins 32, the Beavers 27. Halftime from LA is coming your way. Number 10, UCLA in front of Oregon State, 32-27. Second half about to get going. So the first half highlights, a little bit of a shocking score, Coach Lav.
Well, the Beavers, similar to their game on Thursday against USC at the Galen Center, came out razor sharp, executing well offensively. The ability to torch or tickle the twine from long range has helped the Beavers stay within distance of UCLA, trailing by only 5 here, a 2-possession game. Coach Tinkle has to be happy with that. But defense creating offense for the Bruins, that's when they're at their best. Ball with that strip, again, active hands leading to transition baskets. Superman there, give him a cape.
He has done it all. Of course, he is the leading scorer in this one with 11 points. Moving the ball around, getting the rebounds as well. Hamilton has 7 points for UCLA, who ended the half on an 8-0 run. And here's Oregon State. Can they maintain now this slow, deliberate pace to try and reel in this powerful offense? We'll find out. Beavers have it. Get it inside. Rokocevic had a good first half. The bump. What a block by Leaf. And now he runs the break. Looking to go all the way. Good work. Alford. And it's Welsh who'll take it and hit it.
That was a great possession by UCLA. They pushed in transition, didn't have the advantage, but through the extra passes, were able to find the open man. Always a good indication you've got a healthy, cohesive approach offensively when you look for the open man.
Eubanks, they need him to get going, and that's a good start.
Yeah, he's an old school, rugged player. Broad shoulders, a fierce competitor, and I like the skill around the basket area.
Another alley-oop to Lonzo Ball. So you could have your 6'10", forward throwing alley-oops. That's how versatile Leaf is.
Yeah, very European in their style or approach here. We're seeing that more and more frequently as Thompson maneuvers through UCLA's three-quarter court pressure. Right back down to Eubanks. That's a good look. Quick double team by UCLA.
Thompson, spot on from 3 from Stephen Thompson Jr.
Well, and that's what happens when you feed the big, as Oregon State did, and you get the double team, get it out quickly, and with ball movement, you'll find an opening while Oregon State's in, UCLA's in rotation. Good take by Leaf off the bounce. All of his skills and abilities on display this afternoon. His playmaking in terms of the lob passes, the ball for dunks. They're putting it down on the floor to navigate to the rim.
Thompson taking it all the way, a little strong, and it's Welsh with the board. Here's Ball, always looking ahead. Now the up and under stripped away. Nice play by Thompson. Let's look back at this dunk.
Yeah, the alley hoop is you're going to see a nice screen and then the lob action and a good pass. Precise, no ball pressure, similar to football, which you can appreciate doing all the play-by-play work on the playoffs. But if you don't put pressure on the quarterback, then he has the time to be able to pick you apart. What do they say about prevent defense? The only thing it does is prevent you from winning.
All the time. All the time.
Same thing in basketball. You got to always be pressuring the ball, have high hands.
McLaughlin gets double, throws it up. Shot clock about to expire, but Eubanks with the big save and the awareness.
Remember Dan Issel Played at the Denver Nuggets, also Kentucky. Eubanks reminds me some of Adanis in terms of just the stick-to-itiveness, the toughness, the physicality.
Ball puts it in, hang on the floor. And so that will not count, but it is a foul on Oregon State. That's tough. That's a hard one not to count, right?
I'd like to see more continuity and one baskets as they continue to try and make the game more entertaining. Good look. Boy, well executed. Again, that's what Welsh does. Well devised, well executed by Steve Alford and company in terms of putting your players in position where they can be successful.
Eubanks, you do not want him handling the ball here. Long pass, and Welsh, the 7-footer, tipped it away. Bruins on the move. Ball, bang! And the Bruins are running and gunning here in Westwood. Bruins by 9. Seeing the offense take over, seeing the defense do its part too, right, Lav?
Yeah, great pressure by UCLA. The traps have been effective for them in the three-quarter court pressure. Here, Eubanks is going to get harassed by both Alford with high hands and then Ball with his quick hands stabbing at it. And of course, once the ball goes in that direction, back here, you've got DBs. They're going to pick off that slow lob pass, and as a result, it gets UCLA in transition. Alford wisely sidelined, advances at the ball. The quick strike offense bottoms, and a timeout for the Beavers. So well-devised defense as well. And once Eubanks has to get that catch, now advantage UCLA. And with the 10-second clock working for you in the backcourt, that led to that looping lob pass that was picked off.
And so the Bruins have upped their game, 6 of 7 from the field in this second half too, and the trap really giving them trouble as it is here. Manuel needs some help, gets it from McLaughlin, and he'll set up for 3. No good. Tip. Rakojevic, it's Welsh. Here is Ball, floats it up. Hamilton a little too strong, but they save.
Good decision to bring it out. Put some touches on it, nothing wrong. If you don't have the numbers, the mathematics, show the intelligence to run a set. Give yourself a chance to get fouled.
Leaf. Oh, look at the patience.
All about the footwork, being able to slam on the brakes, let the traffic defenders fly by, and all of a sudden there's daylight, an opening, and you can play over the top with the size of Leaf.
Manuel for 3. Kendall Manuel is turning into a nice little three-point shooter. He's 38% on the year. Hit a couple here today.
They played well against USC, in particular in the first half. Only a freshman. There's some pieces here for the Beavers to work with as they build their program. Coach Tinkle happy about the prospects. Tough season right now for the Beavers. Winless in conference play, but better days ahead.
A swing into the quarter. Manuel for 3. No. Leaf outguns Eubanks for the board. He's going to take it. Leaf.
Going back a ways, Leaf reminds me a little bit of Billy Cunningham. Used to play for the Philadelphia 76ers.
That shows you the work down on the block, and we get a foul. And that is a timeout. And so the Bruins had a 5-point lead at the break. It's up to 10. Media timeout from Pauly. Well, there's a lot of great freshmen on this UCLA team. TJ Leaf, 6'10", from El Cajon, California. This guy is versatile galore. 11 double-doubles, Coach.
Yeah, such an interesting mix because there's a ruggedness along the baseline, both offensively and defensively, yet he has the skill to put it on the deck. And as a marksman from long range, here again, driving from that elbow area, gathering, allowing the Beaver defenders to fly by. So that ability to stop, start, change direction, even some shiftiness. As we look at the book on TJ Leaf, lateral foot speed defensively can improve. He reminds me some of Bobby Jones, a little bit of Billy Cunningham in terms of the way he can drive, but Bobby Jones with that athleticism to elevate. And again, for our younger audience, they have to Google these names. I'm dating myself some.
Thank goodness for you two. I mean, otherwise.
But there's something to be said for also paying tribute to those in the past, right? Whether it's musicians or artists or great athletes. Yeah, so sometimes I hesitate to make references from something before 2005, but then I think, why not, right?
Listen, education, history. You got to learn as the miss. The one thing about Leaf, you talked a little bit about his game, kind of has some European tactics to it. Well, he's born in Israel. And his dad, Brad, was a professional player in Israel for a while. Then they came to the States, and he was actually his high school coach. So it's kind of a cool lineage, getting that taste overseas, and then his dad schooling him here.
And Kobe Bryant, had a similar upbringing, right, in terms of his time in Europe. Because of his father's professional career, and there's a worldliness that comes with that experience. It shapes a different perspective. Your sensibilities are changed as a result of traveling around the world, being raised in different countries, seeing different cultures.
Here's Alford. Ball will launch again. No, but we get a whistle down in the corner. As ball got hit. And he's got a chance to, I believe, shoot three. He will. That's on Korčević, his second. Alonzo Ball, 16 points.
When a player goes down, I always like to see all 5 players rally over. I think UCLA had 3 on this occasion. Leaf very quick, and then you saw Alford start to break as well. To pick your fallen comrade or teammate up shows a certain cohesiveness. If you're likely to do that, I think you're more likely defensively to rotate and take a charge when one of your teammates is beaten off the dribble.
Interesting. Ball misses a free throw there.
That's what teams are really about, teaching cohesion. That's what's so wonderful about team sports, right? Little League and soccer, CYO basketball. Is you learn these values or virtues at a young age, and then it prepares you well for life beyond sport. And that's the sermon of the lecture of the day. No more.
I like it. I'm into it. I mean, I've got Bobby Jones. I've got Billy Cunningham, Dan Issel.
I didn't go into the origins of music. Thelonious Monk, Miles Davis.
That's going to happen soon. I mean, we've got a lot more time to go. Nor the history of Venice, California. We didn't get there yet. But, we've got
lattes.
13:49 to go. So a lot of time here from Pauley Pavilion on this fine Sunday afternoon. Steve Lavin, I'm Kevin Burkhardt, our entire FS1 crew. Number 10, UCLA. Had some trouble in this game. Oregon State's done a nice job hanging in. But the Bruins up by 12 and really playing a very solid second half. Here's McLaughlin. Shot clock winding down. He needs some help. Kone. It's at 3. Will pull up from the elbow. No. Here is Holiday. Oh, the look. Ani Bogu. And it's the biggest lead for UCLA.
And a nice look by Holiday. A good finish by Ani Bogu. See his confidence grow with each possession, each game, each practice opportunity blossoming right before our eyes. Already he's projected a first-round pick. With another year, it could be a lottery.
That is amazing. McLaughlin for 3. No. Tipped around. Here's a chance to run. It's Holiday. Alford for 3. Got it! And the Bruins are on fire here from Pauley Pavilion. It's UCLA out to their biggest lead. There you have it. Bruins up 54-37. Keep extending their biggest lead. It was a 5-point lead at the break. And hey, the Bruins are trying to win this conference. They had a huge win over Oregon the other night. Both Oregon and Arizona won last night in conference play. And if you look at it for the Bruins coming up, who they have, well, they've got USC at Arizona State and then at Arizona and then the Washington schools to wrap it up.
And big picture, there are 6 teams in the Pac-12 separating themselves from the bottom 6. And that bodes well because there's a clear delineation, and I think 5 NCAA tournament bids for sure, and Utah with a strong conference tournament. Woo. Wow. That
is Eubanks powering it home.
I don't think he even had to look at the rim. A sense of where you are. A good book by McPhee on Bill Bradley, by the way, former Princeton great. But knowing where he is on the court here, he just turns and jams it home. Makes it look like, remember Nerf basketball? We used to play,
of course,
in the house with the Nerf ball set. That's what good ones do. They make the court look smaller. Oscar Robertson, right? Julius Erving, Magic. whether it's a big or a guard, they seem to shrink the floor.
I used to try the kiss the rim dunk on the Nerf hoop, but I would hit my head on the closet door. It was problematic.
And then you end up with stitches. Now you're going out to Kaiser.
Right. It's an issue. Holiday
or
on the bucket.
Teeth are knocked out, going to the dentist.
Concussed.
Playing against your brother.
Never a good ender. Thompson had the three, decides to drive. A little floater. That's his shot. He loves that. And Thompson Jr. has 11 and tries to come up with a steal, but it stays with UCLA. We get a timeout on the floor. It's the Bruins in front. The student section is alive. The band is playing, and the Bruins, number 10 team in the land, with a 15-point lead here at Poly Pavilion. They've turned it up in the second half. Hey, Wednesday, Big East basketball double dip on FS1. It tips home Trayvon Blewett. The leading number 24 Xavier against Rodney Bullock and Providence at 5 East. And then the Red Storm looking to take down number 22 Butler. Big East doubleheader Wednesday on FS1. So talk about that Big East. Providence was a big day for them with an upset over Butler. Boy, do they need that. Seton Hall just kind of on that bubble, trying to push themselves in.
Yeah, 4 teams have separated themselves. There's still the home stretch for teams like Marquette, as well as Seton Hall, Providence, Georgetown, if they were to catch fire and win out with their remaining games. But they're running out of time. 4 in good position, and I think St. John's, the emerging most compelling story. No one will want to play the Johnnies in Madison Square Garden in the Big East tournament. Pons and Levette, as dynamic a freshman backcourt as there is in the country. We see Ani Bogu gather his own missed shot, not able to get the foul, but Goleman picks up the garbage. As we say, the crouton falling off the salad plate there. Get a second shot, make a meal of it.
What if you don't like croutons?
Well, hold the dressing as well, right? Especially if you want to, lose a few pounds so you look better in those GQ threads. I like the green today, by the way. Spot on.
Here's Holiday just taking your cues all the way to the rim.
Well, the best 6th man in the country, Aaron Holiday, reminds me some of a player, Cameron Dollar, who played at UCLA on that 95 national championship team and came off the bench. Matter of fact, when Tyus Edney went down in that championship game, it was Cameron Dollar who led the way as the point guard, stepped in seamlessly with Ed O'Bannon, Charles O'Bannon, Toby Bailey, George Zedek, J.R. Henderson and company. Jim Herrick's crowning achievement with the national championship.
Well, yours too. You were an assistant on that staff, that great team, and UCLA, all these championships. That's the last one, though, back in 1995. And this team certainly has a shot to get there. And they have tightened it up in this second half. Red hot shooting.
And it was brothers again. Charles and Ed O'Bannon.
That's right.
More brothers.
That's right. That's been the theme. Here's Aaron Holiday looking to go all the way. They get a foul, and they're not going to count it. It's on the floor. There's that thing you were talking about. All these rules try to make the offense.
Yeah, on the one hand, we want a more entertaining brand of basketball. There's Tyus Edney, one of the great point guards in UCLA history, now director of basketball operations, and a Southern California product. Played at Long Beach Poly for Ron Palmer, outstanding coach.
McLaughlin takes it in, and he gets the bucket. He hit hard on the floor, and the foul. Ani Bogu with a hard foul. McLaughlin, really, you heard it. Slow to get up.
Already a thin bench with the injuries to Oregon State, but Ani Bogu just going after the ball. A good hard foul, but a tough fall to the floor by McLaughlin. Again, that's the physicality and athleticism and length that Ani Bogu brings to this UCLA team, and it's a vital or critical dimension if they are expecting to cut down nets this year, whether it's in the conference tournament in Vegas or in Phoenix with a national championship.
And so McLaughlin to the line, 79% on the year. And he missed. And Welsh with the board.
Matter of fact, the last time the Final Four was west of Texas was in Seattle in 1995, and UCLA won the championship. So the stars may be aligning for this Bruin team.
Wow, didn't realize that. Goleman puts it up and delivers from three. G.G. Goleman. 7 all in this half. And so how about this? UCLA had their lowest scoring half of the year in the first half with 32 points. They've got 33 points 10 minutes into this half.
Well, the tempo is more favorable, and they've managed through their pressure to get Oregon State to shoot the ball quicker. And even when UCLA has come up empty on possessions, they've won because they've imposed their preferred tempo in this second half.
McLaughlin takes it up strong. So Ja'Cory McLaughlin puts it home. 9th point for him from the freshman. Is Wayne Tagle just trying to find the guys for next year? Who can I rely on? Who can help? Alley-oop! Oh, boy! What's that, 3 to ball today? 20 points for Lonzo Ball.
And precise passing as well. Putting it on the money. Nice to have a receivers. Again, we look at the traps. They're well devised along the sideline. Again, that's an out of bounds that creates the equivalent of an extra defender. So that's like a triple team when there's a trap along the sideline.
Ball a little long that time. Tried to put the exclamation point on it. But Oregon State has it. Lonzo Ball approaching on triple-double status. He's got 20 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds today. It's number 2 on your TV screen in case you haven't watched college basketball all year. He is electric. Thompson, shot clock running down, up and under. That looked a little bit like Dad, didn't it? Athletic.
It really did. The shiftiness, the ability to get to the mid-range, or in that case, all the way in to the rim. Just a feel or a knack for shot making and playmaking.
Here is Ball. Bruins will work it. Holiday throws it to the crowd. You know, it was about time to give a souvenir. Folks were getting a little bored in the first row. Why not?
Keep them on their toes, alert and engaged. Make sure they're not on their cell phones. And again, the take by Stevie Thompson Jr. and no ball pressure. So why not play over the top? Batman, Superman, timeout.
You know, we are just in the shadow of Hollywood in Los Angeles. UCLA up by 20. So, of course, you're going to get the Stars courtside here in Westwood. There's tennis great Pete Sampras.
He always reminded me of Greg Maddux in terms of consistency and delivery and precision and just so fundamentally sound. And, of course, Sugar Ray Leonard in the house. Talk about foot speed. We mentioned Tyus Edney's quickness, blazing speed, but another one that could lay 3-4 punches on you before he got your gloves up.
Tyus Edney, well, he's a superstar. Will always be in UCLA lore, of course.
Length of the court, the mad dash in Boise, Idaho in the second round against Norm Stewart's Missouri Tigers, who had played lights out. I think they hit 13 or 16 threes on us. But Tyus had one more trick in his bag and saved the day for all of us. We were going to get fired that Monday if we hadn't won that game.
Thank you, Tyus, for that.
Yep, the firstborn's getting named after him. I got a tattoo. Tyus tattoo. You didn't know that, did you?
You know, I didn't need to know it, but you just threw it out there.
Well, I didn't say it was anything impure. It's just a tattoo. You had to go there.
Here we go for the Bruins, up by 20. Remember, this is a 5-point game at the half. Give credit, UCLA came out firing here. They've got it to a 20-point lead. Well, seeing the beauty of this offense with the ball movement. Of course, as I say that, there's a turnover.
Yeah, you jinxed them naturally. What is it? Pride comes before the fall?
Yes. And Rakorčević working hard underneath. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, showtime in Pauley Pavilion. Really, the Bruins have captured the imagination of college basketball fans, but also Southern California. UCLA's base is engaged. That's why we're seeing former players show up at games more frequently. The Mike Warrens, the Toby Baileys, the former greats who come through, and Alonzo Ball. Now, if they miss 2 free throws in a row, it's free gummies. That's why that student section gets hyped when there's a miss by an opponent on the first free throw. If he misses the second, free gummy bears.
Yeah, but they're brewing gummy bears. We actually saw the bag. I really wanted to dive in, but it was close to broadcast time.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, we
have
have
to get
it.
a shot of them at some point.
Thank goodness.
Sweet tart gummies.
Those are for later. Heads up, Stevie Thompson, working hard, but it goes the other way. Yeah, those are going to be a delightful treat.
Yep, straight cavities.
Yeah, I don't know where. We'll get a shot. There you go. They're right behind us. Here's Welsh. Soft touch. With a little long leaf inside with the 4 fouls. And he gets fouled. He'll have a chance.
If we do a little infomercial for these Sweet Tart gummies, do you think we'll get a lifetime supply? Is that one of the perks?
Truthfully, I would really enjoy, I don't know, my son might enjoy it more, but a lifetime supply of those would be quite useful. At 3 a.m. you wake up, you're hungry. Sure. Where do you go? If you're struggling with attention deficit, as both of us do at times, maybe a little sugar rush to help the concentration levels. Be great. We're not condoning that for the youth of America. We just want to clarify. Oh, you think they're not happening on college campuses? UCLA gummies are being crushed all over Westwood. So here's Oregon State, who is staring right in the face of going 0-13 in the Pac-12 this year. Just a rough go for them, and those games for them haven't been close in conference either. Trying to stay positive under Wayne Tinkle, who is really a good coach and a good man. Well, no doubt. And I've been impressed just with his demeanor on the sidelines, continuing to teach, staying positive, keeping his team engaged, and believing there will be a better day, and that's leadership. This is Hamilton. Soft floater for Isaac Hamilton, who's got 9, his first in this second half. Interesting how Hamilton maneuvers at a pace where he can make cutbacks and explore opportunities, whether it's shot making or deciding to kick the ball to a teammate. He's never in a hurry. Yet he doesn't have that blazing athleticism, right? There's the old school going back to the Dan Issel, different eras, right? Artis Gilmore, George Mikan, but it's a fundamental, kind of like an old-fashioned donut. Nothing fancy about it, no sprinkles or chocolate or glaze. It's just old-fashioned. I love old-school post players. Thompson no good. Rakorcevic. He puts it up and in. Grigoriy Rakorcevic, the sophomore, who has gotten some starts for the last 7 games or so because they've just been trying to find someone to help with Tinkle out all year. He's getting better and better. He's a workhorse. I mean, those two down low, like Paul Bunyans, are like lumberjacks. Maybe it's something about the Northwest that brings out those lumberjack type players. Karnowski at Gonzaga, another Paul Bunyan type, dominating for the Zags. 61% Karnowski shoots from the field. How about that? Is that the second time Eubanks hasn't even looked and put it home? I'm staying with the horse, Denver Nuggets, Dan Issel. How about the nifty footwork by Eubanks, tiptoeing along the baseline? One thing I didn't expect, 3 Dan Issel comments on this broadcast tonight. UCLA in front. UCLA, as expected, pulling ahead in a way in this second half, showing their talents ahead of Oregon State. But one thing is for sure, as Oregon State looks for positives, they've got a center who can really play. This sophomore, Drew Eubanks. Well, Drew Eubanks is going to make some big money at the next level. A long NBA career ahead. His ruggedness, his ability to elevate, and yet a deft touch. We've seen him finish with both hands around the basket area, and stout in terms of his physicality. Well, the one thing is for Oregon State, you look ahead, you get Trace Tinkle back, the best player, coach's son, leader, which they're missing. Eubanks, Stevie Thompson's brother's coming here next year. Look, the reality is Leaf inside strong. The reality is, Lav, is that I don't know that anyone's going to say, hey, this team's going to win the Pac-12. This team absolutely could easily be right in the middle of the pack next year. A lot different than this year.
Yeah, if they can get Eubanks to return, keep the nucleus. And as you mentioned, Tinkle comes off that injury, back at full strength. I love Eubanks' intelligence, the way he looks, plays out of double teams on his post catches. He's not just a 7-footer. He's got playmaking skills as well.
Here is Leaf, 6'10", could do it all. Down the court, Holiday, soft touch, and a little short. And Manuel has it. Well, we talked about Stevie Thompson, or Stephen Thompson Jr. Of course, his dad, one of the assistant coaches on Oregon State, former Syracuse star, as you said earlier, and then his brother, Ethan Thompson, a top 50 recruit in the country, coming next year. So that's the positive. Yeah,
and playing at Bishop Montgomery High School here under an outstanding coach, Doug Mitchell, who's turned out prospects on a consistent basis that are fundamentally sound, add value as teammates, are disciplined in their approach.
Whoa, look at the roll from Leaf on the trifecta. Little relief that that one sunk home for the Bruins.
Leaf doesn't force. He's a thinking big man. Lets the game come to him, but he's capable of taking the game over, which is a luxury to have if you're Steve Alford.
And the rejection, versatility, out to Lonzo Ball. This team is fun to watch.
Well, those two have changed the culture of UCLA basketball and the trajectory of the program, not just this season, but beyond. They've made UCLA relevant again. They've returned the Bruins to national prominence after a downtick last year. Steve Alford's got this program rolling.
Yeah, they can score with anybody, tops in the country. And obviously held under that average today, at least right now, but you could see what they can do. You know, this is a great story. Gerald Smith, a senior out of Los Angeles, came out in Sports Illustrated today from Lindsay Schnell, I believe, wrote the article. And it was so cool about Gerald, who started out here at UCLA as a walk-on, as a helper, a scout team player for the women's team. He wanted so bad to be a part of it. He could have played at a lesser school, maybe D2, lower D1, wanted to come to UCLA for the education. So he helped out with the women on the scout team. Because he was so great for them in practice, they kind of went to Coach Alford and said, boy, this guy's great. Maybe you can work him into practice, help you out. All of a sudden, he's a walk-on to the men's team. He's getting a little playing time. How cool is that? And there's some lineage there with those walk-ons here at UCLA.
Yeah, and I like his ingenuity. That's using resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Those are both building blocks in Coach Wooden's pyramid of success. So Coach Wooden smiling from the heavens when he hears that story you just shared. And these are some walk-ons that played under me at UCLA that eventually earned scholarships or had a scholarship at some point in their career. But they came to UCLA initially as walk-ons, and they've all gone on to outstanding careers. And John Crispin came here as a walk-on, now an analyst for the Big Ten Network. Brian Morrison came here as a walk-on as well. They transferred respectively from Penn State and North Carolina. And Brian now is in the music industry. So often managers and walk-ons get more out of their college experience than some of the stars, because they understand there's a sense of urgency, because they can't rely on their basketball prowess, and they're not going to make millions at the next level. They need the straight education.
Tyson for three. That's great stuff, though. That is great stuff. With a minute and a half to go, it's the Bruins off a good week with the big win over Oregon, and up big here over Oregon State. And Coach Alford calls a timeout. I'm feeling maybe get some subs in here. And as we said, here comes Gerald Smith, number 15. That walk on that story. Get some other guys out there.
Well, it's only fair. These young men work their fanny off. They're committed. And when there's an opportunity for them to get a little burn, They should be rewarded, be able to play in front of the student body and the alumni, and some of these guys are setting up their next job for after college.
Had a chance for the three, did Smith. You know, he would have loved if that went down. Just over a minute to play. Almost a steal. Thompson wide open. Rakorcevic, and we're going to get a hold on UCLA. It'll stay here. Rakorcevic grabbing that right elbow there. He's been working hard all day long underneath the boards. And we're going to get a sub. Hopefully Ligurier is okay as he grabs that elbow.
Another one of those walk-ons, Quinn Hawking, now is a writer on a show in Comedy Central, along with Josiah Johnson, who was a teammate of his. So that's one of the most rewarding aspects of teaching or coaching, is not only the star players, the Earl Watsons, the Baron Davises, Matt Barnes, that go on to successful careers in the NBA, but the managers. Tony Luffman was one of our managers on the 1995 National Championship team. He's now a NHL hockey announcer. So that's what it's all about.
That's awesome. Here's UCLA, what they got. Of course, USC beat them last time they met. Really kind of dictated tempo in that one, too. And then the big one after that at Arizona. Arizona won here in a hotly contested game. Well, the Bruins will have a shot to win this Pac-12 with a strong finish.
It's about continuing to improve in preparation for the Pac-12 conference tournament in Vegas, and then being at your best. The non-conference, conference, and conference tournament set the table. It's preparation for the most important time of the year, single elimination format of the NCAA tournament.
Thompson takes it home, and it's good. You know, it's funny. After that week, lost to USC, lost to Arizona, everybody kind of got off the UCLA bandwagon, but since they've played exceptional basketball.
Well, and it's about getting better from your setbacks. Those losses are the equivalent of a report card. They inform a better way. It allows Coach Alford and the staff to go back to the drawing board, watch game film, devise practice plans to clean up some of those deficiencies and build better basketball habits. Basketball, like life, is a game of habits. Why brushing your teeth is important after those gummies.
Listen, I haven't done that yet. Can't wait to get into those gummies. UCLA with the convincing second half and the big win, 78-60 over Oregon State, and a good week for the Bruins. And you know, in a game where they were challenged a little bit in the first half, that slow tempo maybe lulling them to sleep from Oregon State, you really saw what they're capable of in that second half.
And I give credit to the coaching staff in terms of extending that zone and trapping out of that zone defense, which caused Oregon State some problems. They weren't able to get the ball to the middle of the floor or attack it effectively. The traps also sped the Beavers up. They end up taking some quicker shots than they would have preferred. When they go back and watch game film, a lot of bright spots for Oregon State in terms of their future. But right now it's about Lonzo Ball and his ability at both ends of the court to influence the game in a positive manner, whether it's leading the break, driving to the bucket, getting a putback there with a one-handed tip, playing over the top with the dramatic jams home. He's an electrifying athlete, an outstanding leader, and again, taking UCLA to great heights, as great players do, just like great partners.
Like you.
You are a great partner. You share the sugar, and I appreciate that.
In this case, share the Bruin gummy bears. That's the goal of this whole thing. We didn't show in that graphic because we had to fill it up. Ball also had 9 assists, so not a bad day at the office, right?
True, and the cheerleaders go on to great careers here as well. We talked about managers, and we talked about walk-ons, but how about the cheerleaders? Just to keep it equal, right? It's the fact that they're also on the right trajectory in terms of futures in this world.
Everyone in a happy place on this Sunday afternoon. Aaron Stoikov, our producer today. Doug Freeman, our director, putting up with us. For Steve Lavin, I'm Kevin Burkhardt, our entire FS1 crew. Want to thank you for watching. UCLA 78-60 over Oregon State. That'll do it from Westwood as we take you inside the Big East. Coming up next.